Yes, I do have time for this right now.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So, Krista Russo. So, I'm watching you on where you and I are on a Zoom right now. And
Yes.
so, some of you are listening to this. You can also watch it on YouTube. Your camera seems to be a little,
Oh,
like a little,
fuzzy. Better?
little better, little better. Just
Let's see.
seems to be. There it
There
goes.
we go. There we
Crystal
go.
clear. Now I'm
I'm
seeing
back.
Krista in what is it? Eight. What is that? What's the high definition? Eight
Oh, I
or whatever. I don't know what it is. Anyway.
Hey,
Anyway,
you can say whatever you want, and I'll tell
yeah.
you you're
But
right right now.
high definition, which is a good way to see Krista. So we're going to talk today about loan partners and the need for an assistant. When do I need one? What do they do? What do I do? Where do I find one? What if I can't afford one? And how important. So let's start with the first part. Why and when, which is kind of the same thing. Why and when do I need a loan partner? Or what is a loan partner?
So let me ask you this first before we
All right.
dive into that. Did you
Okay.
happen to hear the podcast from Frank Gray and Steve Kiles, Tired of Being Your Processor's Processor? It's on Frank's podcast. Did you happen to catch that one?
I that must be a newer one. I have
It
not called
is it is newer. So one of the things that, they talk about is the need for a processor, loan partner. People call them all kinds of different things. It's Success Mortgage Partners. We have loan partners. It's a day one, get one.
What does that mean?
Essentially, what they're doing is from contract to close, they take it and they run with it. They're getting page five of the bank statement. They can restructure if needed. They're handling all communications. Now, some people may say, okay, well, that's a processor. And call it what you want. Here at Success Mortgage Partners, we identify them as licensed loan partners, and they are taking it. There's no need to be chasing page five of the Wells Fargo bank statement. And believe it or not, Carl, my partner and I, Kevin, speak with about 20 loan officers a day, up to 20 loan officers a day. And all I would say all or most of them are telling me they have inadequate to no support at all.
Yeah.
And that's a
Well,
troublesome problem.
so why is it? What problem does that cause? Like, what's how does that hurt me? I don't have one. How do I'm speaking metaphorically because I do
Right.
have one, but somebody listens. I don't have one. Why should I care?
So you care because it allows you it or it takes you away from doing what moves the needle in your business,
Which is
which is prospecting. So if you can't prospect, it keeps you kind of on that roller coaster, if you will. And as a producer, you need to be able to prospect and do what moves the needle in your business to create revenue. So that's the first problem. It also, let's say you're going in and you're getting pulled into the Smith file, and these are just names, I'm just throwing
mm,
them up, or the Lewis file. And then you go to prospect, it messes with your head. It messes up your headspace. So if I go in, I prospect every day for, we like to say a minimum of 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. But, it's some days it may just be an hour, whatever the case may be. Um, it's going to mess with you in the event that you're in and out of files and chasing conditions. So when you have a loan partner that you know, like, and trust, that they're going to take it from contract to close and run with it, and you can go out and do what moves the needle in your business, which is meeting with real estate agents, meeting with financial advisors, meeting with insurance companies, whatever. I say, and I believe you'll agree with me, the main prospect is a realtor.
yeah.
But for some people, it could be, they could be solely on VA and want to go to military bases, whatever that looks like. But you can't be stuck at a desk looking at email, and it will just it'll mess with your business and it'll mess with your head, honestly.
Yeah, I have found that in the past with myself is I would my loan partner would be dealing with something and then I stick my nose where it doesn't belong, and here let me help with that. And it does, it screws my head, because what happens, like, let's say something's going wrong, and I go, okay, well, I got to go. I got to go meet realtor Krista. Just say, now I'm meeting with you. I like you, right? I like you a lot, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. But gosh, right now the Smith file is going sideways. Gosh, I don't want Krista to send me her first deal, and it goes sideways. So maybe I'll just kind of hold off on
Yes.
asking for the business, because I don't want to hurt Krista. I want to help Krista, and maybe, let's next month it will be, I'll be a little bit more prepared for this. We won't be kind of behind the eight ball here. My assistant maybe be a little bit higher up to speed, and that's a problem. That's a real problem. The one thing I have found for me, that when I had my first loan partner, to let them do their job,
Yes.
and keep my nose out of their business. Because some people, I wouldn't say are control freaks. They just want to make sure it's done right. Right? That's not a control freak, right? That's responsible, I think.
Yeah,
There are
absolutely.
control freaks, but
Yes.
wanting things to go right, that's just being responsible. Um, but I tell you one thing I have learned, and Steve's helped me with this one. We were talking one time, and he says, Carl, you can either be in control or have growth, but you can't have both. So you can't be in control of everything and have growth. So if you want to have growth, you got to let it go, and have help, right? Like trust somebody else that's worthy of that trust, of course. It's not
Right.
blind trust. Or give up your growth, and you can be in complete control. Pick which one you want. And boy, that really helped me out. So on day one, get one. So on day one, I get a loan officer assistant. How do I know that person's going to do a good job? Like how can I trust that person? I just met him yesterday.
So, and I do hear that. I mean, I could see where some hesitation would come. I think trust is built. And so how we do things, our hiring process is I don't want to say it's intense. It is very strategic that we're finding the right players. Because you may be a really good loan officer assistant or a loan partner, whatever anybody is wanting to call them. But you may be really good at that, but you're really not who we're looking for. And why I say that is we're doing disc assessments. We're having the conversation of what our expectations are. For instance, if we are emailing after two emails, if there's not a resolution, we're picking up the phone. And why that is, especially with your loan officers who are partnering with us, they're out doing things. They don't have time to go back and forth in an email. Not just that, things can get misconstrued. We believe no egos here. We're all family. So it's really important to set the boundaries up front of this is the expectation in your role and make sure that they align with that. So we do a really good job of saying these are your expectations, and it's not a fit for everyone, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that they're not good at what they do, but we are looking through everything through the lens of an LO when we're hiring because that is the bread and butter. I mean, without sales, there is no operations. So
Yeah.
we have to be aligned.
One thing I have found, like with the way that you do things over there, and that you assign me a loan partner, that I'm not really managing that loan partner. I get the benefit of it, right? They're calling and updating people. They're
Yes.
searching for conditions, like they're putting out the fires, basically, right? Or dousing things down before the fire begins, right? That's even better. They help the fires from getting started. They see a little smoke or they smell a little something, they go in there
Right.
and solve the problem. One problem I have found, and it's a big problem with loan officers, is as a general rule, we stink at managing people,
Yes.
because, and it's a good reason, because we tend to be great people, right? We love people. We tend to be optimistic. We tend to see the best in people. We tend not to enjoy confrontation, right? It's not one of our favorite things. And we tend to want to give people yet another chance and another chance and another and another and another, which is not necessarily a good thing, right? and that
Right.
having somebody actually managing that person, and I just direct them, here's what I need done, but somebody else actually manages that person, I think is a huge advantage. I think, and there are, and I've met some great loan officers that are great managers too. Like I'm thinking of our friend
Yes.
Sue Meitner, actually,
I was going to say Sue is
fantastic
fantastic.
manager. Like blows me away when it comes to like the managing of a team, much better than I am. Right.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
So I think it's nice to have it where I'm assigned the help, but and if I don't have that great man, I have great vision. I'm not underselling myself. I have great vision, but just I'm not great at firing somebody, quite frankly. That's why I'm kind of
Right.
piddling around that word a little bit. I just because I like people, right? And I don't want to hurt them, and that's just that's not a great way to get great results. You got to have a fantastic team and somebody else kind of in charge of that part. The other thing I like about what you guys do is you train the assistant for me, or you hire somebody
Yes.
that's already trained because I'm too
Yes.
busy. I'm out here shaking the trees and meeting my referral partners. I don't have time to show somebody how to do the LOS and how to help the processor out on the files. I don't have time to do that because I'm out selling, so I need somebody else to train that person. So
Which is why you can't manage them either, most of the time is because that's not going to move the needle in your a company that aligns with your goals, dreams, and desires is what's going to move the needle in your business.
yeah,
So, one of the things that I tell people is we have a choice. We have a choice when we're choosing a company to align ourselves with is do they align with what I am trying to accomplish? And that is 100% support on it. This is just my opinion, but 100% support on the operation side so you can do what moves the needle in your business, which is sales and prospecting. That is what you know and love. Why should you be forced to process loans and figure those other things out? You got the deal, contract comes in, we send it over.
how do you deal? Let's say I'm closing 3 loans a month, just as a hypothetical. So somebody that's closing 3 loans a month, and they say, well, I really can't afford an assistant, because I'm closing like 3, but yet I know, and we all know this, right? To be able to get to that 8, 9, 10 loans a month that we see, many of the top producers doing, or even more, 100% of them have an assistant. So once I'm closing that many, I can afford the assistant. But now that I'm not yet, I can't afford him. But I know I'm not going to get to those numbers until I have one. Like
I
it seems
isn't
like
that always crazy when I'll never forget it. I was at a company and they were talking to a loan officer who was wanting an assistant and she said, "Well, they're telling me I can't get an assistant until I get more production, but I can't get more production because I'm processing." And I'm like, "What? It's so backwards, right?" So, um if you are in that place, so let's say you're doing 3 loans a month and
okay,
we will help you. So you may share one with another loan officer here in the organization. There are there's one in particular that's just coming to my mind right now that was doing the exact same thing, and it moved the needle in their business. They were sharing one, so we're seeing this stuff work over and over again, and now they need their own. So it's you've got to have that support so you can get out and do those things.
yeah,
Kiss babies, shake hands, meet people, tell them what you do, and always be asking for the business. Always. I mean, Kevin and I were talking the other day to a loan officer, and one of the things that we were talking because they're newer in the area, and he's like, I just don't know anybody. Well, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the gym, strike up a conversation, get their name and number, put them in your database. It's relationship, even if they're not giving you the business now,
yeah,
eventually.
love it. So having somebody help you find that assistant, have somebody help train that assistant, having somebody manage that person up to standards. I tell you something else that you guys do that I think is just a fantastic thing. I literally don't know if anybody else in the industry does it, and I think everybody should. And if our managers are listening to this, start doing this one. Is every time we close a file, every time we close a loan, we get a survey. And the survey is rank your loan partner on a scale of 1 star to 5 stars, 5 being the best. Where do you rank them at on this deal? How much, like 5 stars? I had, I didn't have to touch anything. They did it all. I didn't have to come in and show them how to do their job, and they freed me up so I could go get the next one. So that they get a 5 star. The loan partners' raises and bonuses are based on my reviews of how they're helping me close my loans, and I get one. For the loan partner, I get one for the processor. I get one for the underwriter. So now when I call the underwriter, obviously they're following guidelines, right? They're writing good loans, right?
Yes.
But they're returning my phone call because they know if they don't, we don't give 5s to people that don't return our calls. I'll just be honest.
Right.
And if they get anything less than a 5, they go speak literally to the president of the company and explain why that wasn't a 5 on that deal. And Allison's a super nice lady, but I don't want to be
Amazing.
called. I don't want to be called to her desk of why I'm not, and try to explain why I'm not doing my job. I'm just saying, she's a super nice lady, and I've never
But
had.
she is the honey badger, and
She
the
is the
honey
honey
badger.
badger. She is the honey badger. So
I don't want to
she
get
turned
call
that.
either.
Super nice lady, but yeah, me explaining why I'm not doing my job well is not something that I want to do in Allison's office, right? I can just tell you that right now. So I love that survey system. Again, as you're listening to this today, boy, implement that one in your business. That's a really big deal. And these systems and processes we're talking about providing loan officers with their assistant. Man, listen to this. Implement it in your company. Like put this into use, because it's. I would say, Krista, it's this. I would say probably there's 2 things that I say when loan officers join our company, what they come over here for. Number one is that day one get one. Day one you get the assistant on day. You get an assistant on day one. So I think that's a big one. And then of course the training that we do to help them ramp up their business, help the loan officer ramp up their business. Obviously that's a big one too. But I'd say that's like the number one and the number 2 by far. I think third is kind of I mean, there's other reasons, but I think those are the 2 primaries. And it's I don't know why more people aren't doing it. It's so easy to do. And then they close more loans. And when they close more loans, the company makes more money. And then the company's got more money to get more assistance and more help. And then the loan officers close more loans. They make more money. The company makes more money. It's like this spiral up.
It's a beautiful cycle if you can.
I don't know why everybody doesn't do this.
Yeah,
and so
like,
if
and
you're
then
listening to this today and you don't do it, go start doing it, right? Go start doing it, or go, you encourage your company to start doing some of these things. It's a game changer. Like it's just a game changer. So
it really is. And I encourage people if they're stuck in a place like that right now to just really focus on your goal planning for 2025 and start implementing some of these things or whatever actions you need to take to allow you to do what moves the needle in your business and ultimately brings in more revenue. And then there's just an amazing trickle up effect from that. Better home life, you pay your bills easier. So many different things.
money doesn't solve all problems, but it solves most problems, right?
Does solve most problems.
It solves most problems. Not all, but most. Cool. You think we covered this okay? Anything I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
No, I think we did a good job. I could sit on here and talk to you all day, Carl. You're absolutely amazing. Appreciate you so much and letting me talk about the loan partner because if you don't have one, you need one.
Hey, so if anybody wants to reach out and they have any questions about like what do you pay these people, where do I find them, what do they do versus what the loan officer does, and that kind of thing, and they want to implement it in their own company or talk to you about what you're doing over there, what's a good way for people to reach out to you?
I would say the best way is probably just to shoot me an email. My name's Krista Russo, and my email is KRUSSO at smprate.com.
So I'm just going to repeat that. So it's K, the letter K for
Yes.
Krista, of course. So K Russo, Russo at SMP rate, like a mortgage rate.com. That's easy enough.
Yeah, super
I like
easy. I
that.
look forward to chatting with
Cool.
anybody and offering any suggestions and helping however I can.
Yeah, whether and again, this is whether you're looking to set up in your own company. Chris will be more than happy to give you some ins and outs on it. It's a big deal. Like getting and let me tell you something, it's going to be a great 2025. Well, for those people to do something, it's going to be a great year because there's the mortgage volume is expected. I saw the recent reports expected to be a significant upturn, and something like 60% of all loan officers tapped out. So there's like less than half the people still playing the game.
More room for us.
And the numbers are going up on how many mortgages. So those of us who are left are writing. It kind of reminds me back in like 2010, 2011, when we were recovering from the housing crisis back then. Like then, a lot of the loan officers tapped out, and when the volume started going up, man, we had some of our best years ever, and it was just like it was, it was unbelievable how easy it was then because there was no competition. And I'm a firm believer that 2025 is going to be the same thing. And as you're listening today, congratulations for hanging in there and sticking with it. Right, you did what it took. You survived the big slump. Where it definitely looks like we're on the other side of the slowdown. It's going to be a great 2025. As long as you take action. So be sure to take action. Reach out to Krista, and that'd be a good use of your time. K Russo, Russo at smprate.com. Well, Krista, I appreciate you. You're just an awesome person to hang out with, and you're helping so many people, and I really appreciate that. And I love that podcast that you're doing, the Ladies in Lending podcast too. That's really something special you're doing there. So congratulations on your success with that.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And we'll talk to you when you call in, and we'll see you on the next episode of Loan Officer Freedom. Bye-bye.